Hi everyone, Coach Alexa here. The weather last weekend and throughout last week was really windy, and a lot of people were feeding back to me about the impact this was having on their training, and if they got out for a long run, and some people quite rightly decided it's a little bit too dangerous where they lived to do that, which is completely fine. But those people that did get out on some training runs in this slightly windier weather reported that things were going a bit slower, and that is completely correct and understandable. So I thought I'd talk a little bit more about this. So let's take the long run as an example. The goal of the long run is to work at a really gentle endurance effort level. It's there to build your endurance, build your stamina, teach your body to predominantly burn body fat as fuel by going slow enough. So it's a lot slower than target race pace. Even if you're running a marathon, it's slower than target race pace because you're building that endurance base. The speed comes from other sessions and other paces that you use in other runs. So we ideally want to define what that easy effort is by our perception of effort, perhaps our breathing rate, our heart rate, because the actual pace in minutes per mile or minutes per kilometre for that same effort level will change depending on a whole load of different conditions. So the best example from last weekend, on a really windy day, you are going to be running your long run slower than if you were running it on a beautiful, lovely, calm day. If, for example, you've got a whole load of different sort of external and internal factors. So you'd had a really bad week at work, you'd slept poorly, you're a bit dehydrated, you're a bit underfueled, you're running on the trails in really bad weather with high winds on a really hilly route, your pace for the long run is going to be a lot slower than where it would be usually. But if you run that session with the goal of running it to a certain perceived effort, breathing rate or heart rate, you will still hit all of the goals of that session and get all of the training benefit out of it, even if that overall pace was slower than, for example, a lovely sunny day, flat road run for the same distance. So this is sometimes where exercise social media, Strava, can bring out the worst in us, because we feel by posting our run on a shared platform, oh no, it was a bit slower, and we might have to write some excuses in the comments, excuses. But actually, the pace kind of doesn't matter. The pace will vary day to day for all of your sessions, from intervals to tempo runs to the long runs. And that's exactly right. We should be focusing on being in the right training zone, and those training zones for different types of run are defined by your effort perception, things like your breathing and your heart rate. It is not defined by pace. Of course, you can have pace windows that are, you have a zone that you think that, brilliant conditions, dreadful conditions, easy will probably be somewhere in between those two, but it will move around, and also those whole zones will change and move as you get fitter, as you train for different types of race and train different aspects of your fitness. I hope that's helpful, and please bear in mind the fact that you're still hitting the goals of those sessions, running it by effort, even if your pace is slower. In fact, you are less likely to hit the goals of the sessions if you're trying to speed up to compensate for the conditions that are slowing you down, because that means that you'll be in a different training zone doing different things and not ticking the box of that specific session on your training plan. Hope that's helpful.